next one. And we'll find out what that's like coming up next, right here on Thirsty Thursdays, Sense and Nonsense.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, basketball's over, football's still a few months away, but there's always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Absolutely. We've always got something going on here. The games are always going on. It's a great place to come enjoy everything out on the patio. Beautiful scenery out there. Great beer. I've got a great brewer, great food. It's always fun here at the brewery.
And the atmosphere is great and friendly and warm, too.
We always want to make sure you're a lot happier when you leave than you were when you came in.
Always fun here at the 23rd Street Brewery at 23rd and Castle. Make sure to come by when you're in Lawrence.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
It's time to tell you about a great opportunity to improve your retirement outlook by using the outstanding services of 401k USA. What the experts at 401k USA bring to you is an overlay of your current 401k plan that manages it in a far more proactive and responsive way. Too many retirement plans can be restrictive, but 401k USA brings far more flexibility to your plan to capitalize on opportunities and avoid downturns. It's simple and easy to find out much more about all the details on taking a close look at what the friendly experts at 401k USA can do for you. You can create more retirement wealth and a richer lifestyle by visiting 401kusa.org today or by texting to 816-844-6236. That's 401kusa.org or text to 816-844-6236 to find out much more.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyClinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Wow, that glass didn't clink very much.
Well, it's a fancy beer. I brought down fancy glasses.
Yeah,
what do you say?
Yes, we have another. We made an executive decision on this one. Because this is the Elusive Thunder Super Hazy IPA from Boulevard. And since we had a 7.8 16-ounce can, we decided to split the 9.5. Is that 9.5, Joe? I'm not seeing so well right now. I think it's 9.5.
I think it is. I saw it earlier when I had my glasses on.
It's 9.5.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
thought it might
9.5. Good job.
9.8, but... Anyway, I said clink the glasses, okay? I think we've discussed before that I do not like being... I've never really liked being called clink, except there's a couple people in the world who still do.
Oh, my, Danny.
So you got a good look on your face. Yeah, let's do the beer first before we get into the clinking.
Sorry about cutting you off there.
Dangerously tasty.
Holy moly, right?
I guess you're going to keep the one that I got in the refrigerator. Is that what I'm getting here? Is that the vibe I'm getting? You know what? There is no way that you figure somebody... we've discussed it before.
Yeah.
I'm not like, Boulevard's my jam.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, one thing, I don't know if you can make... all great beers if you make 100,000 beers. Which,
yeah, you're going to have some misses.
But this, for almost a 10 ABV, there's almost no snap in this thing.
It's crazy, dude.
This is excellent. This is like, I think the hazy, oh God, now I'm going to forget the name. Oh, Discourse. The hazy I had at Discourse Brewery is probably the best I've ever had, and it may still be a little bit tastier than this, but for a high alcohol beer, this is smooth out of the can. While we're drinking it in a glass, this is smooth sailing.
Elusive. Oh, that's why it's called Elusive Thunder. Because the thunder, being the 9.5,
is elusive.
Is elusive.
Yeah. Well, maybe wanting to split this with your friends.
Oh my gosh, this is good.
If you want to start the evening with a bang,
You just got to get going, baby. Let's roll.
and this is a 16-ounce can also.
Man.
Poured into a glass because we split it because, we didn't want to be like a mess before the end of the...
Danny, I'm not grading on a curve. We don't grade on a curve. If we were
No,
grading on a curve of a
grading
high alcohol beer,
Oh, that'd be close to a 10.
be close to a 10.
Yeah, and even at this, I'm still not going to go... Not going to go to 8, 7, 9... Because it's hard to make a high alcohol
It's
beer.
hard for me to not grade it on a little bit of a curve. But I think I agree. I think 7, 9, maybe an 8 even. I mean, this is a pretty damn good beer.
It's a good beer, plain and simple. Usually, to me, it's almost a waste of time to drink a beer over 8.
Yeah. No doubt.
Unless all you want to do is, hey, it's time to get drunk.
Yeah.
Which, you don't pay these kind of prices. Just you can always just buy some Mickey's Big Mouth or something. Or Steel, what's that one? Steel Reserve, some of those things.
I feel like I've seen you drink that in the parking lot of a golf course at some point.
Never a Steel Reserve.
What was the one you used to get? Bud Ice?
No, Bud Ice is only a 6.
What was the one that you would
Never
get?
one of those crazy cheap ones. No, but those are the ones you can get in a convenience store. And
what was your convenience store beer way back in the day when we first started hanging out?
I never would do that. I wouldn't be seen in a parking lot drinking a Steel Reserve.
There was something.
A beer is not a quality beer if you can only get it in a whatever it's
gas station. Yeah, 7-Eleven.
No, you can only get it in the big can.
Oh, only in the monster can.
Only in the monster can.
No, but when we first started hanging out, one of the first times we played golf, you brought some beers.
Well, I never would have foisted that on you.
What was the one, though? And then I did some research, and I found out, this is like season 1 of the pod, and I found out that it was actually a malt liquor. Oh, man.
Maybe it was. It probably was like a, one of those ices. I think you found out that one of the ice beers was more like a malt liquor.
Maybe it was Bud Ice. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know.
Anyway,
this is a quality. This is no ice. This is no
Bud Ice.
This is no buy it in just a big can.
Hey, before I forget, I got to give a shout out to a big fan of the pod that was asking to get shouted out. So Hazel, hello Hazel.
Wow.
It's hello. Thanks for listening, Danny.
Can you give me a ballpark of Hazel's age? No, I mean, is she like your age?
No, she's much younger. Much younger.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then Hazel, you can. Joe can help you out or whatever. Was a hit song way back in the day called "Hooray for Hazel."
Hooray for Hazel.
I think it was maybe a British invasion band.
Okay.
And it was a pretty big hit, I think. So if you can...
Well, maybe Hazel gets another shout out next week when we look that song up.
That's an old-timey name. She might be she might be the youngest person. Well, there was a hit TV show called Hazel.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at the fact checks just taking off here.
It was what's the lady's name? She was a huge star. Hazel was a very popular show. It was on for several years, and she was a stout woman. That's what you call it for the day. She was a maid, I believe.
What was the premise of the show?
I think she was a maid in a. I didn't watch Hazel. I didn't think it was funny. Whatever,
but it was a comedy,
and I only saw it in repeats. But it was it was a comedy, and Hazel was the sharp-mouthed maid.
Commentary of what's going on.
Yeah, salty maid.
Was she friends with the talking car? And
I don't know. This was even. I think this is a 50s show. This is like Leave It to Beaver vintage. So there's 2 fact checks for you about Hazel.
Man, it's about time.
Hoorays for Hazel and Hazel the TV show. So, and I if I was really cooking, I'd remember her name because she was kind of a famous actress back in the day.
You were talking about clinking glasses earlier. Were you headed somewhere with that?
No. Yes. We've established I've never liked Clink. I think we told the funny story about a broadcaster, wannabe star who slapped me on the shoulder and called me Clink, and he hardly knew me. Well, when I went back for my dad's funeral, I saw my best friend from he was my best friend all through my childhood. We, just like friendships do.
Yeah, you come and go in and out of people's lives.
We've hardly seen each other in the last 15 years or so. And we hadn't seen each other at all. And I think I talked about this. We saw each other a couple of years ago when I went back to see my dad. And at that point, we hadn't seen each other in probably a decade. And it was just like we saw each other the day before.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And so,
those great friends.
So anyway,
like
he calls me Clink.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Uh-huh.
And his wife calls me Clink. She doesn't even call me. So anyway, they are in Europe right now.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we're in London. Or, she posts on Facebook. He has nothing to do with social media. No Facebook.
Good for him.
But she posts on Facebook. And so first day in London, blah, blah, blah. And they went to a Chelsea game, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
So I said, hey, you got to go down to the Clink Museum, which is the jail. I think we've talked about this. The Clink is,
yes.
Yeah. And the bar at the hotel, the reason this came up, I said, hey, you got to go down and see the Clink Museum, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, we'll put it on the list. I said, really? I'm just making a joke. You don't have to go to the Clink Museum. But the hotel the reason I found out the museum was even there is because the hotel we stayed at from when we went for my daughter's graduation from the University of London, I went to the hotel bar while my wife was out doing a little shopping, and the bar at the hotel was called the Clink. The Clink Bar.
You got some pictures of this?
I do. I have a picture of the sign that says the Clink Bar. Yes.
That's funny.
Anyway.
I do have a question for you from last podcast, Ian.
Okay. Remember, we're supposed to talk about the soccer, so we'll get into some other
yes.
phrases.
Sorry, real quick. What did Sam Elliott say that made you so much not like him?
I think Sam is...
You put some dirt on my boy Sam Elliott's name last time.
I like Sam. I've always liked him. I think he's...
I thought it was political, so I looked it up.
I think in the last couple of years, he might have said a thing or two that I thought were...
So there's two things.
I can't...
I thought it might be political.
I think it is.
But it's not, unless you've gone hard right on me, because he narrated a Biden campaign commercial.
Wow, maybe got confused. No, he said he got into some kind of entanglement
a couple years ago on a podcast. He said some really derogatory things about this movie that was made by a New Zealander that was a lesbian.
Oh, I think that was it.
And then he said a bunch of that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, he came out and profusely apologized and all this. So I just thought, I think, and it seemed pretty.
So Sam.
Sincere.
So I thought Sam. I was surprised by the whole thing because Sam has been married to Catherine Ross, which was another fact check that you haven't gotten to yet.
I forgot about that. Sorry about that.
And so she was kind of a, hippie-ish actress who basically retired when she married Sam. She was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah, that's what we brought up last time.
She was the woman who was, riding around on the bicycle, and lovely, lovely lady. I mean, you would figure that Sam would marry a lovely lady, and they've been married forever.
I mean, with a mustache like that, he's probably,
and the voice like that.
Yeah, he's packing some heat. But here's what I'm saying.
What?
He's a cowboy or whatever.
Okay. Want another sip of beer?
Hey. So what I was going to say is that his apology did sound really sincere.
Well, that's good.
So I think that you should.
I've always liked Sam. I think he's a good actor. And
slack.
He did a movie 5-6 years ago about sort of a has-been Western star. It was very good. I think he almost got maybe nominated for an Academy Award.
Are you sure you're not mixing that up with Crazy Heart? With
No. That's a long time ago. This is only a few years ago. It was it was sort of an independent film, and he was the star of it. He wasn't just like...
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now I can't... He was a Western star, and he hadn't been in the public spotlight in a while, and maybe he did a commercial or something. I can't remember. It was about him spending his later years plying on the fact that he had been a Western star.
I'm sure it's not as good as his performance in Roadhouse, because it's going to be hard to beat his performance in Roadhouse, Danny.
Well, speaking of all the kinds of things we do on this particular podcast, we share a devout loyalty to different soccer teams in different leagues. And, I watch almost all the Premier League games that by the way, when I was face down, I watched all 10 games one weekend of the Premier League.
I assumed you had.
All 10. And I usually don't do that. I have Peacock, but I only use it for the purposes of seeing an Arsenal game maybe that I can't see. I usually just watch the ones that